No, no marker.
And,
Give me, obey quickly. You're gonna wreck yourself.
oh,
No.
he is not happy about that. Going to his mom and he's gonna cry and wail and do what he does, but he's not getting that marker. And close the office so we cannot get into the office anymore. That's why I specifically had that door closed. Okay. I want to welcome all those joining me via Facebook Live, via YouTube, to the Art Ministries. We are located at 242 Chilenko Street here in Chicago. If you ever want to show up and show out and have a good time with us, we don't believe that you're coming in here just to come to regular service. Even though you see me suited and zooted some Sundays, you're coming in here to really praise and worship our Father. But well, with that said, are we ready for the word? Are you ready for the word? I'm actually going to need my notebook because I don't know where I was going with a lot of things, but it's, we'll see what happens. In the book of Exodus, the 19th chapter, and we're going to read from verses 1 on down to 11, and I know that's kind of a little bit of a ways to go, but it's a good ways we're going, all right? When you have it, please just in response, go ahead and just say amen and go ahead and stand to your feet as is our custom. And I know that I cannot see you on Facebook. No, we're not going to play with that. Papa needs us to read, okay?
Come here.
I know that I can't see you on Facebook or on YouTube, but when you have it, go ahead and say amen and please stand for the reading of the Word of God.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. We are in Exodus, the 19th chapter. We're going to start at the first verse, and we just go read down through the 11th verse, and I may read some more. If I don't, that just means that we've covered enough. All right. In Exodus 19, it says, in the 3rd month after the children of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on the same day they came to the wilderness of Sinai, for they had departed from Rephidim. Had come to the wilderness of Sinai and camped in the wilderness, so Israel camped there before the mountain. And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. So Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before them all these words which the Lord commanded him. Then all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do. So Moses brought back the words of the people to the Lord, and the Lord said to Moses, behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you and believe you forever. So Moses told the words of the people to the Lord. Then the Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and let them be ready for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day the Lord will come down from Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. May God have blessed to the hearing, reading, and doing of His word. Father, I just want to tell you thank you for everything that you are getting ready to do today. Father, I'm grateful for you allowing me, your servant, to stand before your people and speak your word. I ask, oh God, that you would now use your servant to do your will, how you would have it be done. Father, I pray that you would speak through your servant, that your people would hear your voice and not mine.
Yes.
That your people would hear your words and not my own. Father, I pray that you would remove this man would not be glorified, edified, or honored, but that you, Father, would receive all glorification, edification, and honor. I thank you, Father, for all you get ready to do. We bless your people in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
We're still in our Deserts Journey series, and we're going to be talking on a subject title this morning out of that series, Back Again.
Back again.
Back again. You ever been to a place and you ever been doing something or been gone for a while and you get back to a place of familiarity and you go, hey, I'm back again. Or I've made it back again. I'm just kind of I'm here back again. And this is kind of what I felt that God was wanting us to go and how He was wanting us to utilize His word this morning, because I believe that we are all filtering into a place that seems like it's very familiar, and we're all probably saying to ourselves, "Hey, I'm back again. I've made it again. I've come back to a place where that is familiar, a place that is familiar, a place that I know, and this is what happens sometimes when we experience or we believe that we have come full circle in our lives. We are back again. Our text lends us this story. The children of Israel, and I just want to give you a little bit of a background of the children of Israel on this journey, up to where we're at, and where we are at this moment. Is that okay?
All right.
If it's not, then once again, I've kind of got the floor, so I'm going to kind of I'm gonna do it anyway. Really wish I had my little notebook before me, but that's okay. We're gonna work with this thing.
Where's the notebook?
The children of Israel came out of Egypt into the wilderness, which went around the Philistines' camp, or the Philistines' wilderness. They came to a place where Jacob, their father, had found some rest, and then but they didn't hang out and stay in that place. They wound up actually going to a place called Sin. And that place means thorns. And because they were in a place called Thorn, they actually were able to find some rest. And this Sin was an unfamiliar place. It's okay if we don't find the book. It's all right. God, hey, we're gonna let God get the glory in this. It's okay. Don't worry about the book. It's okay. They were in this place called Sin, and they found rest in this unfamiliar place. And Sin is a place between Elim and Sinai. Okay, let me share with you one more time. Sin was a place between Elim and Sinai, and in front of them was the Red Sea. Egypt, Sin, Red Sea. Okay? They were in the wilderness of Sin and found rest. Then they journeyed through the Red Sea, and when they got to the Red Sea on the other side, they didn't hang out and camp by the Red Sea. They went to a place called Rephidim, and Rephidim means resting place. Rest. And it is the literal translation for Rephidim. It is resting places or stays, and that is a place where they should have been resting, but that is a place where they found where they should have been resting. They found a lot of things to complain about. And it's funny because when I think about it, it's never when I'm uncomfortable that I find time to complain. It's when I'm comfortable is when I find time to complain.
All right.
I mean, when they were in the wilderness of Sin, they weren't saying nothing. They were like, oh, it's journey, cool, found some rest here, it's cool. When they passed through the Red Sea, they weren't saying nothing. They were like, oh, it's cool. Walking through the water, on some dry ground, this is pretty cool. When they get to the place where they should be resting, where they should be comfortable, where they should be in a state of blissful nature, they find the opportunity to complain. Okay, well now they've journeyed from Rephidim back to the wilderness of Sinai. You ever felt like you're going from a place of rest to the wilderness?
Mm-hmm.
You ever felt like sometimes that you're more in the wilderness than you're at rest? Or you're more in a desert place, or in a place of where you're uncomfortable than when you're in a place of comfort. You ever felt? Am I the only one who's ever felt like that?
No.
Am I the only one who's ever realized that the desert seems a lot closer than rest?
Amen.
But the wilderness is a good place. Because the wilderness it seems like the wilderness is the only time that the folks, the people that are in our text have an opportunity to gain some rest. Because when they are literally supposed to be resting, they're busy complaining. And see, it's funny because in a place where they should be resting, the Amalekites came against them.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they were comfortable. They let their guard down. I'm supposed to be resting. I'm done complaining. I got what I got. After complaining for it, I'm done complaining. Now I'm going to do a little rest. But now my guard is let down, and here come the Amalekites. So they journeyed from the wilderness to rest and back to the wilderness. That's why I believe God just said, "You're back again." Now I'm back again. I'm back. I come full circle. And I love the quote that my brother Evangelist James always shares with us. And I'm going to share that quote with you. He said, you're always in three states. Always. You are always in one of these three states. You're either going into the storm, going through a storm, or coming out of a storm.
Wait, stop.
You're either going in, going through, or going out, or coming out. We enjoy the coming out.
All right.
The coming out that's the good time. Finally, you can go, whoosah, because I'm coming out. It's the going in and the going through that we're not so keen on being a part of. But the coming out or the going out, we are good with that because that means that we are finally able to rest. But we complain. Children of Israel have now come to a place in the wilderness where God is going to expose himself to them. God is going to reveal himself to them. God is going to show himself, himself through the clouds, and he's going to show himself through Moses to the children of Israel.
No rain.
That was going to happen. That is what was getting ready to happen. God is going to expose himself. He's getting ready to use Moses, and he's going to get ready to speak to Moses so powerfully. And he's not speaking to Moses, and he's not speaking to the children of Israel in a place where they are at rest. He's speaking to them in a place where they are in the wilderness, and they're in the wilderness of Sinai, which literally means thorny. In the original language, Sinai actually means thorny place. And any time you are in a place where there are thorns around, it is not a place where you are comfortable. I know that for a fact because this morning I found a thorn in one of my socks. And I mean, it wasn't a thorn from a rose bush. It was just one of those little sticker burrs that I found in my sock. And after I took it out of my sock was finally comfortable enough for me to wear. But before then, that sock was not something I wanted to put on. And typically, when God shows up in a place, in a place of the wilderness, He typically does not give you the answer you really want to hear at that very present moment. But at this time, God says to the children of Israel that I am going to make you a special people. You will be a special people, and you will be a treasure. Wow. To me. Whew, a a treasure. Let me go back and say something here. If you're writing things down and you're just thinking about some things, I want you to know that the very first thing that I thought about when God was sharing with me all of this is that, you know what? God is all about relationship.
Amen.
He really is. He's all about relationship because he tells Moses to have the children that the children of Israel must come into a covenant with me.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not just gonna give you this thing. You got to come into covenant with me. You're not just gonna just gain this treasure that I'm talking about because I'm telling you that you're gonna be a treasure. But the only way to get to the treasure is you must come into a covenant with me. There are certain things, and there are certain things that only because of the covenant with my wife I am able to receive.
Amen.
My wife will cook for me, even though she cooks for everybody else. She will cook specifically for me, and she will fix my food plate.
Amen.
I don't think last night was the first time I fixed my food plate with my wife standing there in almost 20 years of marriage.
There's a lot of people.
I typically do not fix my own plate. As far as I'm not saying that because I have a bad. I'm not saying as a way to degrade my wife, but I'm telling you this because of the covenant that I have with her. There are certain things that she will do for me because of the covenant. There are certain things I will do for her, even though I don't want to do them, even though I'm tired of doing them, for her specifically because we are in covenant with each other.
Amen.
One is like I can't stand having to repeat a movie after we are watching the same scene. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But if my kids ask me, if people around me ask me, I don't repeat it. But when my wife asks me, I repeat it because she is in a covenant fellowship with me. And I know that's something silly, and I know it doesn't make any sense to you, but it makes sense to me because she is the only one that I will do that for. Likewise, she is the only one that I will allow to wake me up out of my sleep and tell me to move spaces. The only one, because we are in a covenant relationship. This is not just something that we came up with. This is a relationship. God the Father has told the children of Israel that the only way I'm going to make you this treasure to me is that you come into covenant with me.
Hallelujah.
Which means that you come into relationship with me. The only way that we're going to get some things to move, God to move on our behalf, is that we come into a covenant relationship with God the Father. Yes, that means you need to set aside your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own dreams, your own goals, and you're going to have to come into a relationship with God the Father, which means you're going to just say, you know what, not my will be done, but your will be done.
Yes.
God is all about relationship. Everything God does is all about building His relationship with you, building your relationship with Him, you building your relationship with His children, with His children, with His kingdom. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. What first? Seek His kingdom.
Yes.
Seek His thoughts, His plans, His ideas, and then all these things will be added unto you. You cannot do that unless you are in a relationship, because how can you know His thoughts, His ideas, His plans, His will, and design unless you are in a relationship? And the only way to be in a relationship with somebody is to communicate with them.
Amen.
Which means I commune with you. That's why when Jesus was getting ready to go to the cross, he instituted the Last Supper, the Lord's Supper, or as we call it, communion. God is all about relationship. He really is. He's not a God that is simply a God that enjoys doing everything for you without you knowing Him. See, He already knows you.
Yeah, that's true.
He already knows you, but God is not in the business of doing everything for you without you coming to know Him. The gifts, the talents, the talents, your vision, your goals, your dreams, everything about you, God knows.
Yes.
Matter of fact, he's given you everything about you. What he wants from you
Right.
is that you come to know him.
Amen.
You see, when I was lost, I said I found God. When I was lost. Not when God was lost. When I was lost, I said I came and I found God.
Right.
But God was never lost.
Amen.
He knew exactly where I was at. He was just waiting for me to stop trying to run so that he could find me. He was ready for the children of Israel to stop complaining, to stop doubting, to stop walking with their fears and come to know him. So he institutes this covenant and says if they will agree to this covenant, they will be a special people to me, a treasure to me above all other people. You know how I know that's so true and so real? Is that anytime you talk to anyone that is a descendant of Israel, a descendant of Israel, not a descendant of Esau, not a descendant of Ishmael, a descendant of Israel. Those are the most blessed people in this world. I'm talking about our Jewish brothers and sisters. Anytime you meet one of them, they have their own school. Plural. Schools, plural. Their own schools where Jewish young boys and Jewish young girls can go and get educated, not just in the ways of history and mathematics and science, but also in the ways of the Torah or the Pentateuch or the first 5 books of the Bible. They're there. They have their own schools. Their schools are not funded by donations. Their schools are not funded by tuition. Their schools are funded by the nation of Israel. Oh, and by the way, they have schools around the world. These are special people. Do you know that when God said that that they would deal with the Egyptians no more forever, he truly meant that. So for the entire lifetime of the Israelite people, they will never have another problem with an Egyptian ever again. God has never said that about another nation. Never. The United States nation, as blessed as we are, does not and will not have that same covenant or that same blessing from God, because he separated this people for his own and called them his treasure. Wow. And he sets these people up for success. I believe that God is still setting us up for success. I believe as you give your life to Christ, you become adopted. Now, see, here's the thing: is we think that to be adopted means that we are less than those that are in the house. Here's the thing: is that when you are adopted by God, God specifically chooses you. No, you weren't born into it. No, you weren't born into the house, but you were chosen to be in the house. I believe that carries a little bit more weight, because at the end of the day, you didn't have to be chosen. You weren't originally by design supposed to be there, but you were chosen to be there. And because you were chosen to be in the house, you automatically are gifted and engrafted into the same treasure that God is talking about. And now we move forward, we hear that the children of Israel say, hey, all that God has said, we will do. We will obey his voice because we want to be this treasure. We will obey his commands because we want to be this part of his treasure. We will do. We will go and we will be what he says that we were going to do. I'm so far ahead in my notes, I don't even know where I'm at. We will go and we will say where he wants us to go and say and do because we want to be this treasure.
Amen.
So Moses is tasked to go back to God and let God know, hey God, the people say yes. The people said yes. And here's something that I just really caught my attention, is that really before God shows up, your answer must be yes.
That's good.
Before God shows up, before God moves on your behalf, before God imputes his spirit, his anointing, his authority on your life, your answer must be yes. It can't be maybe. It can't be I think. It can't be okay with condition. No, your answer must be yes.
That's good.
God is looking for a people and looking for a children, looking for an individual that will just say yes.
Hallelujah.
In the wilderness, yes. On the mountaintop, yes. In the valley, yes.
Amen.
In sickness, yes. In death, yes. In life, yes. In the good, yes.
Hallelujah.
In the bad, yes.
Yes. Amen.
God is looking for an individual, for a people, for a nation that will just say yes.
Amen.
And the minute and the moment that you say yes. Now here's the thing. Here's what you're saying yes to. Let me put this out there because you need to know before you say yes what you get yourself into. You are saying yes to God. You're saying yes to his will, not your will. You're saying yes to his design, not your design. You're saying yes, you're saying yes to his purpose, not your purpose. You're saying yes to his vision, not your vision. You're saying yes to his idea, not your ideas. You're saying yes to his talents, not your talent. You're saying yes to his strength, not your strength, because your strength is weakness. But he's looking for someone who will say yes. He's not looking for someone who will say maybe, because the people who say maybe don't really mean yes. They're saying maybe with the condition applied to say, if it doesn't happen the way I want it to happen, then the answer is no. But if you do it the way I want you to do it, then the answer is yes. God's not looking for a maybe person. He's definitely not looking for somebody who will say no. Because if you say no to God, that means you're saying no to prosperity. You're saying no to blessing. You're saying no to peace. You're saying no to health. You're saying no to life everlasting. When you say no to God, you are saying no to you're saying no that I don't want eternity. And once again, we're here on borrowed time. It's unfortunate that some lives have been gone in 2 minutes of birth. 2 minutes, or never being born, or being gone before they even had a chance to take their first breath. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because they never had a chance. Literally, never had a chance to meet God the Father on this earth. But thank God that He carries them back to heaven with Him. And it's unfortunate that young boys and girls at the ages of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 will die before experiencing what life really is. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that young men from the ages of 19 to the age of 29 will die. Young women will die before coming into the fullness and the wisdom that God has wanted to come and bring them into. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that men and women from the age of 30 to the age of 50 will die, not knowing that God was going to answer every prayer and every request that they have ever answered. It's unfortunate, and it hurts that men and women, our seasoned men and women from 51 to the age of 70 will die, never realizing that God was there for them, all because they would never say yes. Some didn't have a chance, some had a chance. Some never got, some never heard, some heard. But they just responded, but their response was never yes. It's unfortunate. You know, and I know there are those of you who are watching right now that have never said yes before. You have only said maybe. You have conditionalized God and say, you know what, with these conditions, we will do it, maybe. Maybe, not yes, maybe. We you know what? There's some things I'm good with. There are other things I'm not good with. And as long as we stay with the things I'm good with, then the answer is yes. But when you get to the things that I'm not good with, like ripping me from my place of comfort and taking me to a place where I'm not comfortable, then I can't do that. No, you can't call me to be the first in my family to do something, because that's not what I'm comfortable doing. I'm good with being like the second or third person to do something. You know, you let somebody else do it first, and then I'll come along and follow their example. I'm good with doing that. But see, here's the thing: is that when God called Israel, He called them to be the first treasure, the first people of heaven. He didn't call them to be second.
That's good.
When God called you into whatever He called you into, He didn't call you to be second. He called you to be first. The deal is He's requiring a yes.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen.
And I know that word is so easy to say, and because we say yes, we're gonna practice something. We're gonna practice something. We're gonna practice. If I was to ask you, do you want $100? If I had $100 right now, if I was to ask you, do you want $100 right now? Yes. What would you tell me?
Yes.
If I was to ask you, do you want me to take you out to the most expensive restaurant right now? I mean, like right now, what would you tell me?
Yes.
If I were to tell you I want to fly you to the Bahamas, first class, all expenses paid, put you up in a 5-star hotel, and not just in a regular hotel, not in a regular room, in the executive penthouse suite, what would you tell me?
Yes, Lord.
Yes. Thank you,
We
Jesus.
say yes to a lot of things that have nothing to do with God.
That's good.
They have no principle to do with God, but what God wants to do in our lives, we say yes. But God is just requiring a yes, so that all the things that I mentioned, He can give you without you having to do anything. Yeah. God, yes. Yeah, I know it's gonna suck when I go there. Oh, but yes, I know people aren't going to respond to me when I go there. But yes, you know, I love what Mr. J said about Moses today. And I'm not gonna say it how he said it. I'm gonna say it how Brian says it. Okay? And because this is something that how I had to say it, how I have to say it, is that Moses was not the same man that ran from Egypt. Moses was a different man. When after he ran from Egypt and ran into God, he was a different man. He was Moses, the son, the prince of Egypt, Moses the murderer. Now he's Moses the prophet, the teacher, the pastor. He was a different man every step of the way. Every time he encountered something, he became different. And now he's in this place, getting ready to go back up to the mountain of Sinai, talk with God the Father as a different man. He's not the same person. He's not the same person that ran out of Egypt. You are not the same individual that ran from out of wherever you ran out of. You are not the same person. You are not the same individual that you were yesterday. How do I know? You gained one more day of age.
Amen.
You're not the same. You are not the same individual. That's why I can truly say that your mistakes, your mistakes of your past do not define nor do they determine where you are going. But they do help you to become a different individual. I can talk to people on a different plane when I talk to them about being a womanizer. You can't tell me how to be a womanizer. There ain't nothing you can say to me about what it is to be a womanizer. Because I know that part in and out. I know I played that game well. Ooh, did I play it well?
Sure did.
So I can tell you, I can speak to you. When we talk about what it means to be in a covenant relationship and being separated from being a womanizer and those who would treat a young lady like they are less than nothing, I can tell you from a unique perspective of what that is. But I can also tell you from a unique perspective what it means to be in a true covenant relationship.
Yes. Amen.
I can tell you what that is. You may be able to talk to me about being a real life, a real deal gang member that's had to kill. Because yes, I joined the gang, but I didn't have to kill nobody to get in. I did get jumped in, and I didn't like getting beat up by the amount of guys I got beat up by. But I did get jumped in. But I realized that the gang life was not for my life.
Amen. I agree.
That's what I realized. But you may be able to speak to me on that perspective. You may be able to speak to me on the perspective of being an athlete that has achieved the highest levels. You may be able to speak to me on that perspective. But if whatever perspective that I will speak to you on, you will not be able to speak to me on because you have a different perspective in that area than I do. Moses is a different man. Now you are a different man, you are a different woman now.
Yeah, that's right.
What you have experienced, what you have gone through has changed you. Some of it's changed you for the worse. I know.
Don't break that.
Some of it's changed you for the better.
You wanna go time out?
Some of it's changed you for the better. You have gotten better by being changed from this. Moses is better because he was changed by his mistake. He was so changed by his mistake.
Amen. Hallelujah.
That now he is going back to the Mount of Sinai to speak with God the Father. And God the Father tells Moses, tell the children to consecrate themselves. They said yes to me, tell them to consecrate themselves.
Yeah.
They said yes, tell them to get ready. Because on the third day, I'm coming down the mountain. On the third day, I'm coming to see them. On the third day, I'm coming to be with them. On the third day.
Hallelujah.
Now there is a unique thing about the number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of things happen in 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just do something. Let's just do some things here. Let's see what's a good number in a 3. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. The three in one. That's powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's do something else. The 3 Hebrew boys that were thrown into the fiery furnace.
Mm-hmm.
They were 3, but because they were gathered together in unity and in one, there was power. Okay.
Right.
Let's just use some other word. When there are 2 or 3 gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of. There is just something powerful about the number 3.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
There is just something powerful about the number 3.
Amen.
And God said on the 3rd day, I'm going to come down this mountain. I'm going to come down in a cloud. Now here's the thing. I told you that you're either going into a storm, going through a storm, or coming out of a storm.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in a storm that had no clouds. Never. I've never been in a snowstorm, a rainstorm, or a sandstorm. And yes, I was in the desert for a while. I've never been in a sandstorm where there were no clouds. Every storm I have been in or experienced always had a cloud.
That's good.
God said, I'm coming down the mountain in the cloud, and I'm going to speak through the cloud to the people.
Amen.
To you, to the people, so that they will know that I am with you.
Hallelujah.
I'm not